There was a time when mornings felt effortless. You woke up, swung your legs over the side of the bed, and your body just worked. No stiffness, no fog, no wondering where the energy went. Somewhere along the way, that changed. But what if the fix was hiding in something people did thousands of years ago every single morning without even knowing the science behind it? Here's what they understood that we forgot. The ritual nobody recognized. Long before modern medicine, ancient cultures from the Mediterranean to Southeast Asia shared a quiet habit. They started their mornings with specific fats, olive oil on an empty stomach, coconut-based drinks before the first meal, butter stirred into tea. They didn't have laboratories or clinical trials. They just noticed that people who did this stayed stronger longer. They healed faster. They aged differently. For centuries, Western science dismissed these practices as folklore. But in the last 2 decades, researchers have started looking at what actually happens inside your cells when you consume certain fats first thing in the morning before any food. And what they found lines up almost perfectly with what those ancient cultures already knew. Your body enters a unique metabolic state each morning. Insulin is low. Stored sugar is mostly used up. Your cells are hungry and ready to listen to whatever signal you send them. The type of fuel you give them in that window sets the tone for your entire day at the cellular level, your DNA under daily attack. Here's something most people never think about. Every single day, your DNA takes damage, not from anything dramatic, just from being alive. Breathing, digesting food, even sunlight through a window creates molecules called free radicals. These are unstable particles that crash into your DNA strands and cause tiny breaks. When you're young, your body fixes these breaks almost instantly. You have a powerful built-in repair system. Enzymes scan your DNA constantly, spot the damage, and patch it up before anything goes wrong. But after 50, that repair system slows down. The enzymes still work, but there are fewer of them. They take longer, and the damage starts to pile up. This is where things get serious. When DNA damage accumulates without repair, cells begin to malfunction. They send the wrong signals. They grow when they shouldn't. This is the earliest stage of what can eventually become disease. The question researchers started asking was simple. Is there anything that can wake up those repair enzymes again? Anything that gives your body the raw signal to fix itself faster? The ketone connection. The answer came from an unexpected place. Researchers studying fasting noticed something strange. People who went without food for extended periods showed a spike in DNA repair activity. Their cells were actually fixing damage faster during a fast than during normal eating. The key turned out to be a molecule called beta-hydroxybutyrate, or BHB for short. BHB is a ketone. Your liver makes it when you burn fat instead of sugar for fuel. During a fast, BHB levels rise naturally. And when BHB floods your bloodstream, it does something remarkable. It switches on genes that protect and repair DNA. It blocks an enzyme that normally keeps those protective genes turned off. Think of it like a lock on a toolbox. BHB removes the lock. Your cells can finally access the repair tools they've had all along. But here's the catch. Most people over 60 rarely produce enough BHB on their own. Their metabolism runs almost entirely on glucose. The repair toolbox stays locked. The morning fat. That changes everything. So how do you raise BHB levels without starving yourself? This is where a specific type of fat enters the picture. It's called MCT oil. And one fraction in particular, known as C8, is the fastest route to ketone production ever studied. Unlike regular fats that take hours to digest, C8 goes straight to your liver. Within minutes, your liver converts it into BHB. You get the same ketone spike that fasting produces, but without skipping meals or going hungry. And the timing matters enormously. When you take C8 MCT oil first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, you catch your body in that perfect window. Insulin is already low from sleeping. Glucose reserves are already depleted. Your cells are primed to receive BHB and act on it immediately. This is the ancient ritual, updated with modern understanding. Fat first, before food, before sugar, before anything that would compete with the signal. Burning. Fat from the inside out. The fat-burning effect alone is worth paying attention to. When BHB enters your bloodstream, it flips a metabolic switch. It activates receptors in your cells that tell them to start breaking down stored fat for energy, not the fat under your skin that you can pinch. The dangerous fat deep inside, wrapped around your liver, your kidneys, and your intestines. This is called visceral fat. It's the type that drives inflammation, raises blood sugar, and increases your risk for nearly every serious disease. In clinical studies, people who consumed MCT oil daily for several months lost significantly more visceral fat than people consuming the same calories from other oils. Their cells were burning fat at rates nearly 30% higher, and they weren't exercising more or eating less. The only difference was the type of fat they consumed each morning. Your body already knows how to burn stored fat. It just needs the right signal at the right time. Rebuilding your cellular power plants. Every cell in your body contains tiny structures called mitochondria. Think of them as batteries. When you're young, each cell has thousands of fully charged batteries powering everything you do. By the time you reach your 60s, studies show you've lost roughly half of them. The remaining ones are weaker. This is why everything feels harder. Why a walk that used to feel easy now leaves you winded. Why recovery from a cold takes weeks instead of days. For years, doctors believed this decline was permanent. Exercise might slow it down, but nothing could reverse it. Then researchers discovered that BHB activates a specific protein that tells your cells to build brand new mitochondria. After just 4 weeks of MCT supplementation in one study, participants had 28% more mitochondria in their muscle cells. Their exercise capacity jumped by 25%. They didn't just slow the decline, they reversed it. Imagine getting back energy you thought was gone for good. That's what rebuilding your cellular power plants feels like. Protecting your repair crew. Your body has a built-in maintenance team called stem cells. These are the cells that rush to damaged tissue and rebuild it. A torn muscle fiber, an inflamed artery, a worn-out section of gut lining. Stem cells handle all of it. But stem cell numbers drop dramatically with age. By 65, you may have only 30% of the stem cells you had at 30. The repair crew is running on a skeleton staff. Here's where BHB becomes critical again. Research published in one of the world's top scientific journals showed that BHB keeps stem cells in a protected resting state. They stay healthy, undamaged, and ready to activate when needed. Without enough BHB, stem cells wake up too early, burn out, and lose their ability to repair anything. In simple terms, your morning MCT oil isn't just burning fat or boosting energy. It's preserving the very cells your body depends on to heal itself and keep tissues healthy year after year. Starving what shouldn't grow. This might be the most important entry on this list. Cancer cells have a fatal weakness. They are addicted to sugar. A Nobel Prize was awarded in 1931 for this discovery. Cancer cells consume glucose at a rate up to 50 times higher than normal cells. They can't efficiently use fat or ketones for fuel. Their internal machinery is broken in a way that makes them completely dependent on sugar. When you shift your metabolism toward ketone production, something powerful happens. Your healthy cells adapt easily. They switch to burning ketones without any trouble, but cancer cells can't make that switch. You're essentially changing the fuel supply in a way that feeds your healthy cells and starves the ones that shouldn't be growing. Researchers are careful to say that MCT oil alone does not cure cancer, but the direction of the science is clear. People with higher ketone levels show lower markers of inflammation, lower insulin, and better DNA repair. All three of those factors directly reduce cancer risk. The coffee multiplier. There's a reason this ritual works best with coffee, and it's not just about taste. Caffeine does something specific inside your fat cells. It unlocks them. It triggers an enzyme that tells stored fat to release into your bloodstream so it can be burned. But there's a problem. If that fat isn't burned quickly, it just gets stored. Again, this is where MCT oil completes the loop. The ketones from MCT oil create an immediate demand for fuel. Your liver and muscles start burning fat the moment caffeine releases it. One study found that caffeine alone boosted fat burning by about 29%. MCT oil alone boosted it by about 25%. But together, the effect jumped to over 50%. That's not just the two numbers added together. It's a multiplied effect. Each one makes the other work harder. Coffee without MCT oil opens the vault but leaves the gold sitting there. MCT oil without coffee burns fuel but misses the extra supply. Together, they create a fat-burning cycle that neither one achieves alone. The simple morning protocol. So what does this actually look like in practice? It's simpler than you might expect. When you wake up before eating anything, brew your normal cup of coffee. Add 1 teaspoon of C8-MCT oil. Blend it for about 15 to 20 seconds until it looks creamy, like a latte. Don't just stir it with a spoon. Blending breaks the oil into tiny droplets your body absorbs much faster. Start with just 1 teaspoon for the first few days. If your stomach handles it fine, move up to 1 tablespoon after a week. You can also add a small amount of grass-fed butter for extra richness and sustained energy. Then wait, don't eat breakfast right away. Give your body 2 to 3 hours in this fat-burning, DNA-repairing, stem cell-protecting state. Most people find they aren't even hungry during this window. The ketones suppress appetite naturally. Within 2 weeks, you'll likely notice sharper thinking and more steady energy in the morning. Within 2 months, the deeper changes begin, more mitochondria, better body composition, and blood markers that start moving in the right direction. The ancient cultures didn't know the science behind what they were doing, but their instinct was right. The first thing you consume each morning is the most powerful signal you send your body all day.